You know, sometimes the most profound wisdom is packed into just a few words. Today, we're going to unpack a single powerful verse of ancient Arabic poetry to uncover a timeless principle for building real, meaningful connections. So, let's dive right in.
أصادق نفس المرء من قبل جسمه وأعرفها في فعله والتكلم.
Okay, so here it is, in its original, elegant Arabic script. I mean, before we even get into the meaning, you can just appreciate the beauty of the language itself, right? The flow is incredible. But what is it actually saying?
All right, here's the direct translation. And you might be thinking exactly what I thought at first. It sounds a little odd, almost surgical, you know? This whole idea of separating a person's soul from their body to become friends with it, it kind of sets up a little puzzle for us to solve.
And that's really the big question here, isn't it? The poet gives us this beautiful, but honestly, pretty confusing statement at first. So let's break down that first line and figure out why it sounds so strange.
I mean, really think about that for a second. If you take it literally, it almost sounds like someone is trying to make friends with a ghost, doesn't it? It's just this very abstract, almost supernatural-sounding idea.
And you know what? That humorous interpretation is actually part of what makes this verse so charming. The poet is being super bold with this statement, and if we try to imagine it in a modern context, the absurdity of it really shines.
Can you imagine seeing this on a dating profile? It's hilarious, right? It's like, no need for a picture just yet. Just tell me about your values. It perfectly captures the funny side of this really serious declaration, and it shows just how radical the poet's priority really is. So if the poet isn't actually trying to befriend a ghost, how in the world did they do it? Well, the key, the one piece that brings this whole idea right back down to earth, is actually hidden in the second half of the verse. Ah, there it is. See, the poet isn't a mind reader. They're not a psychic. They're just a really keen observer of people. What they're saying is that the soul, a person's inner character, isn't invisible at all. It has an output. It shows itself through the tangible, physical clues people give off every single day.
So this is the crucial point, this idea of the soul's output. A person's actions and their words, they aren't separate from their character. They are the evidence of their character. This is the practical, real-world way the poet reads someone's soul. And here comes the big aha moment. This whole idea, which sounds so foreign and poetic in Arabic, well, it actually maps perfectly onto a common English saying that we all know and use constantly.
At its core, the verse is basically a much more philosophical and active way of saying, don't judge a book by its cover. But it's not just a passive warning, it's a full-on statement of principle. Let's look at how beautifully these two lines align.
And this just brilliantly shows the connection. The person's soul, their nafs, is the book's content. Their body or jism, that's the book's cover. And, this is the most important part, their actions and speech are the author's writing. That's how you actually judge the quality of the content. The mapping's absolutely perfect.
But here's where the Arabic verse goes a step deeper than our English idiom. The idiom is a warning against doing something, against judging. The verse, on the other hand, is an active guide for doing something, for building a real friendship. So let's just quickly summarize the wisdom here. First, real friendship is like an agreement you make with a person's core character. Second, that character isn't some big mystery, it's revealed through hard evidence, their consistent behavior and their thoughtful words. And finally, this makes the verse a powerful, proactive guide for how to choose your connections wisely. And this brings us to the final, really powerful takeaway. The poet isn't just offering some gentle advice here. No, they're stating their personal rulebook, their non-negotiable criterion for letting someone into their life. It's a declaration. I choose my friends based on the quality of their soul's output, period. And that leaves all of us with a question to think about. This ancient poet had a really clear method. Watch their actions and listen to their words. In a world that's so full of digital covers and carefully curated appearances, it really makes you wonder, what's your method for reading the content and not just the cover?